Hi everyone, so this video is a part of a larger course called Korean Vocabulary Builder. And we've chosen 10 lessons from the entire course. So if you enjoy these lessons, then do check out the whole course on our website. And on our website, you will also have access to quizzes and lesson worksheets. That's it, and I hope you enjoy the lessons. Hi everyone, and welcome to my course, Korean Vocabulary Builder for Beginners. I'm your instructor, Ki-wan Kim, Kim Ki-wan. Now, this course is for beginner learners in Korean, particularly for those who are able to read Korean but have limited Korean vocabulary knowledge. So these learners might not know what a train, a bicycle or car is, and are unsure of verbs like get on the train, ride a bicycle, or drive a car. Now, if you're thinking that sounds like me, then you're in the right place. As this is a beginner's course, we'll guide you through some of the most common everyday topics, such as transport, family, food, education, and even alcoholic drinks. It's a common topic in Korea. However, we're not just going to give you a long list of words to memorize. Each lesson is organized around one topic, and as well as learning the meaning of the words, you'll also learn how those words are used and help you to form basic sentences. Also, many Korean words have their origins in Chinese characters, so we'll explain the meaning of different syllables and their Chinese origins, and help you to make connections between words based on this knowledge. The course is organized to aim for vocabulary retention and mastery, and we're going to do this in 3 stages. Stage 1, watch the video lessons and develop a deep understanding of the words covered in the lesson. During the lesson, you will be guided through simple listen and repeat practice of the words in the lesson. Remember, you learn better by doing, so please make sure to take part in these practices. Stage 2, download the worksheet which accompanies each lesson and practice writing the words and sentences from each lesson. Writing the words from the lesson will really help you to learn and retain the words in the long term. Stage 3 is the review practice, and there are 2 speaking practices which are designed to help you recall the words learned in the lesson. The 3 stages of learning will help you to master and retain the vocabulary covered in the lessons. And the aim is for you to master over 400 Korean words by the end of this course. Okay, so I hope that's given you a good idea as to what you can expect from this course, and I look forward to seeing you in the lesson. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, so in this lesson we're going to learn words related to the extended family. So let's begin. First, in Korean, to refer to the father's side of the family, we use the word chin. And to refer to the mother's side, we use the word we. These words are useful when making a distinction between relatives from 2 sides of the family, so we'll come back to these words a little later. Now the first word for this lesson is the word for grandparents. And this is 조부모님. 조부모님. Let's say this word together. Repeat after me. 조부모님. 조부모님. Now, we learned earlier that 부모님 means parents. And the syllable 조 comes from Chinese and it means ancestors or grandparents. However, this word for grandparents is quite formal and it's rarely used in everyday speech. And when referring to grandparents, it's more common to use the words for grandfather and grandmother. So let's look at those words. The word for grandfather is 할아버지. 할아버지. Notice how the first 2 syllables link. So it's not 할아버지, it's 할아버지. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 할아버지. 할아버지. Now, it does look like we've just added 할 to the word that means father. So you might be wondering what 할 means, but really it doesn't mean anything other than to indicate this noun as grandfather. The word for grandmother is similar to 할아버지, and it's 할머니. 할머니. For grandmother, we don't just add 할 in front of the word that means mother, which is 어머니. Instead, it's 할머니. 할머니. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 할머니, 할머니. Now, sometimes we have to make a distinction as to which grandmother and grandfather we're referring to. So to do that, we use these words 친 and 왜. So 친할아버지 and 친할머니 are grandparents on the father's side, and 외할아버지 and 외할머니 are grandparents on the mother's side. Okay, so if we move on down in the family tree, the next word is uncle, and it's 삼촌. 삼촌. Let's say that with me. 삼촌. 삼촌. But in fast speech, this can sound more like 삼촌 than 삼촌. It sounds like this. 삼촌. 삼촌. Now, similar to grandparents, to differentiate the uncles from the mother's side and the father's side, we can also say 친삼촌 and 외삼촌. Okay, so moving on. Next, we have aunts. And these are different for the father's side and the mother's side. Aunts on the father's side are 고모. 고모. Say that with me. 고모. 고모. That was great. And the aunts on the mother's side are 이모. 이모. Say that with me. 이모. 이모. That was great. Well done. Next, we have relatives who are of the same level as us, and they are cousins. Cousins in Korean are 사촌. 사촌. Say that with me. 사촌. 사촌. Now, to refer to older and younger cousins, we can use the words we learned for siblings. So if you're a man, you can say 사촌형 and 사촌 누나. And if you're a woman, you can say 사촌 오빠 and 사촌 언니. Now, do you remember the word for younger siblings? It is, yes, it's 동생. So younger cousins are called 사촌 동생. 사촌 동생. The final word in the extended family in Korean is for nephews and nieces. In Korean, there is one word for both nephews and nieces, and it's 조카. 조카. Let's say that together. 조카. 조카. Great job today, well done. So today we learned that 친 refers to the father's side of the family and 왜 refers to the mother's side of the family. And we can use these words in front of other family titles to say which side of the family they're from. The word for grandparents is 조부모님, and grandfather is 할아버지, and grandmother is 할머니. Uncle is 삼촌, and aunt is 고모 for the father's side, and 이모 for the mother's side. Cousin in Korean is 사촌, and we can use the words for siblings after 사촌 to refer to older and younger cousins. Finally, both nephews and nieces are 조카. So today's lesson was about our extended family. In the next lesson, we're going to look at vocabulary for clothes. So I'll see you soon again in that lesson. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome back. Now, in this lesson, we're going to learn useful vocabulary related to fashion accessories. So let's begin. The first word is a bag. And in Korean, this is 가방. 가방. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 가방. 가방. Now, 가방 is a general word for bags, and we can use 가방 to refer to bags like these for women. There are also other types of bags. For example, backpacks students use for school are called 책가방. And this word 책 means book. So this kind of means book bag. Now, to say carry a bag, we use the verb 매다. 매다. 매다 means to put something over our shoulders. Let's say that together. 매다. 매다. Let's now say carry a bag. It's 가방을 매다. Repeat after me. 가방을 매다. 가방을 매다. Another verb that's often used with bags is 들다. 들다, which means to lift or carry. And this verb is often used with our next word, handbag. Now, handbag in Korean is another loan word, so it's 핸드백. 핸드백. Let's say that together. 핸드백. 핸드백. And to talk about carrying 핸드백, we say 핸드백을 들다. Say that with me. 핸드백을 들다. 핸드백을 들다. Great job. The next word is wallet, and wallet in Korean is 지갑. 지갑. And we use 지갑 to refer to both men's wallet and women's purse. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 지갑. 지갑. That was great. Well done. Here's another word that also comes from English, and the Korean word is 벨트. 벨트. And you might be able to guess what it means, and it means belt. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 벨트. 벨트. Now there is another Korean word for belt, and this is 허리띠. 허리띠. 허리 means waist, and 띠 means a band, and together it becomes belt. Both belt and 허리띠 are commonly used in Korea. Let's say this word 허리띠. Repeat after me. 허리띠. 허리띠. Now, to say wear a belt, we don't use the verb 입다, and instead we use the verb 차다. 차다. And this verb is used to talk about wrapping things around parts of our body, such as our waist or our wrists. Let's practice using this verb with belt and 허리띠. Repeat after me. 벨트를 차다. 허리띠를 차다. That was great. One thing to note is that to talk about wearing belts, you can also use the verb 매다, which means to fasten, and 하다, which means to do. Now the last two words are related to glasses, and first we have the word for regular glasses, and this is called 안경. 안경. Now in terms of pronunciation, in fast speech, the ni은 in the first syllable almost sounds like iung, so it sounds like 안경. 안경. Say that with me. 안경. 안경. Now, to say sunglasses in Korean, we don't use the word 안경. Sunglasses in Korean is 선글라스. 선글라스. Now, with pronunciation, just like 안경, the ni은 in the first syllable almost sounds like iung. So in fast speech, it's 선글라스. 선글라스. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 선글라스. 선글라스. Okay, that was great. Now, to talk about wearing glasses and sunglasses, we use the verb 쓰다. 쓰다. And we use this verb to talk about wearing things around our face or on our heads. So we use this verb with hats too. Let's practice saying this verb. Repeat after me. 쓰다. 쓰다. Now let's say wear glasses. Repeat after me. 안경을 쓰다. 안경을 쓰다. Okay, this time let's say wear sunglasses. Repeat after me. 선글라스를 쓰다. 선글라스를 쓰다. Excellent job today. Well done. Now, in today's lesson, we learn various nouns related to fashion accessories and the verbs we can use with these nouns. First, bag is 가방, and we say 가방을 매다 to say carry a bag, but we can also use the verb 들다, which means to lift or carry. Next, handbag in Korean is 핸드백, and it's commonly used with the verb 들다. And then we learn that a wallet and a woman's purse is 지갑. Then we have belt in Korean, which is 벨트 and 허리띠. And to say wear a belt, we can use the verb 차다, but we can also use 매다 and 하다. Lastly, we learned that glasses is 안경 and sunglasses is 선글라스. And to talk about wearing glasses and sunglasses, we use the verb 쓰다. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you soon again. Bye-bye. Hello again. So this lesson is going to be all about words related to fruit. So let's begin. First, the word fruit in Korean is 과일. 과일. Let's first practice saying that. Repeat after me. 과일. 과일. Okay, so a lot of fruits, 과일 in Korean, are loan words from English. So banana is banana, mango is mango, lemon is lemon, kiwi is kiwi, pineapple is pineapple, and orange is 오렌지. So other than having to say them phonetically in Korean, they should be quite easy to remember. Therefore, in this lesson, we're going to focus on fruit words that are different in Korean. And the first word is apple, and this is 사과. 사과. Repeat after me. 사과. 사과. In English, the skin of fruits and vegetables are called peel, and in Korean, it's called 껍질. 껍질. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 껍질. 껍질. Now let's say apple peel, 사과 껍질. 사과 껍질. Repeat after me. 사과 껍질. 사과 껍질. That was great. Now, when talking about removing the skin from a fruit or vegetable, the verb we use in English is peel. However, in Korean, there are different verbs depending on whether you're using a knife to peel something or your hands to peel something. So if we need to use a knife to remove the skin, such as in apples and pears, we use the verb 깎다. 깎다. Let's say that together. 깎다. 깎다. Okay, now let's say peel an apple. 사과를 깎다. You can also say 사과 껍질을 깎다, but it's more common to say 사과를 깎다. Let's practice saying that. 사과를 깎다. 사과를 깎다. Okay, that was great. Now, with the next two fruit words, we can also use with the verb 깎다. First, it's pear, and this is pear. Pear. Say that with me. Pear. Pear. Okay, and the next word is peach, and this one's a little longer, and it's 복숭아. 복숭아. Repeat after me. 복숭아. 복숭아. Okay, that was great. Now, to talk about peeling both pear and 복숭아, we can use the verb 깎다. So, peel a pear is 배를 깎다, and peel a peach is 복숭아를 깎다. Repeat after me. 배를 깎다. 복숭아를 깎다. Excellent job. Now the next word is tangerine, and this is called 귤. 귤. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 귤. 귤. Now to talk about peeling a fruit using our hands, we use the verb 까다. 까다. Let's practice saying this verb. Repeat after me. 까다. 까다. Now let's say peel a tangerine. 귤을 까다. 귤을 까다. Repeat after me. 귤을 까다. 귤을 까다. That was fantastic. We can also use 까다 to talk about peeling oranges. The next word we have is watermelon, and this is another popular fruit in Korea, and it's 수박. 수박. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 수박. 수박. Now, to say cut a watermelon, we use the verb 자르다. 자르다. The verb 자르다 simply means to cut, so it can be used to talk about cutting many other things, such as paper or thread. Also, although it's written as 자르다 with a 지읒 in the first syllable, Koreans often pronounce this word as 자르다. 자르다. So they say 지읒 as a 쌍지읒. However, the correct way of pronouncing this word is 자르다. So let's practice saying this word the right way. Repeat after me. 자르다. 자르다. That was great. Let's now say cut a watermelon. 수박을 자르다. Repeat after me. 수박을 자르다. 수박을 자르다. Excellent job, well done. We have two more fruit words, and the first of the last two is strawberry. And this in Korean is 딸기. 딸기. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 딸기. 딸기. Okay, great. The final fruit word is grapes, and this in Korean is 포도. 포도. Let's say that together. 포도. 포도. That was great. Now, with strawberry, 딸기, and grapes, 포도, Koreans often wash these fruits, and the verb to wash in Korean is 씻다. 씻다. Say that with me. 씻다. 씻다. Now let's practice saying wash strawberry, 딸기를 씻다, and wash grapes, 포도를 씻다. Repeat after me. 딸기를 씻다. 포도를 씻다. Fantastic job today, well done. In today's lesson, we learned a number of fruit words that are loan words, and other fruit words that are different in Korean. First, apple in Korean is 사과, a pear is 배, and peach is 복숭아. The peel of any fruit or vegetable is called 껍질, and to talk about peeling fruits with knives, we use the verb 깎다. Then we learned that tangerine is 귤, and to talk about peeling things with our hands, we use the verb 까다. Watermelon in Korean is 수박, and the verb to cut in Korean is 자르다. Lastly, we learned that a strawberry in Korean is 딸기, and grapes in Korean is 포도. And to talk about washing these fruits, we use the verb 씻다. Now, we learned a lot of verbs in this lesson, so it's going to take some time to get used to them. But don't worry, as over the next two lessons, we'll learn vegetable words in Korean, and we'll revisit a lot of the verbs covered in this lesson. Okay, so that was a really long lesson, so let's end it there. I'll see you soon again in the next lesson. Bye for now. Hello there. Now, a Korean dining table is made up of elements that are very different from a Western dining table. So in today's lesson, we're going to learn vocabulary related to elements found on Korean dining table. So let's get started. Now, the key thing to remember is that a Korean dining experience is essentially not a course meal, and all the food comes to the table together at once. So there is no starter, mains, and dessert. Though we'll come to this aspect of dessert a little later. First, of all the elements found on a Korean dining table, the most important one is the staple food in the Korean diet, rice. But in Korean, we have two different words for rice. one for uncooked rice and one for cooked rice. The word for uncooked rice is 쌀, 쌀. And the word for cooked rice is 밥, 밥. Let's practice both words related to rice. Repeat after me. 쌀, 쌀. 밥, 밥. Now, because 밥 is such an important part of the Korean diet, even when Koreans ask each other questions like, have you eaten? They'll ask, 밥 먹었어? 밥 먹었어? And some Koreans, particularly older Koreans, do not consider a meal if 밥 is missing from that meal. Now, the younger generation is a little different, but generally, 밥 is a very important part of a Korean meal. Now, the next word is a side dish, and this in Korean is 반찬, 반찬. Repeat after me. 반찬, 반찬. A Korean dining table is made up of numerous banchan. The most common one is, of course, kimchi. But a typical home meal will have anywhere between 3 to maybe 7 types of banchan. And during special meals, it's common to have more than 10 banchan on the dining table. So this is why when you go to Korean restaurants, you see so many small dishes on the table. Banchan is generally shared with other people, so they're put in the middle of the dining table. And everyone just eats from the same dish using their own chopsticks. Okay, so the next important element of a Korean dining table is the soup. And this in Korean is 국, 국. Repeat after me. 국, 국. A soup or 국 in Korean meals is not a starter, but it's something that accompanies your main meal, like your rice. But unlike banchan, you normally get one guk for each person. So guk is generally not shared. Common types of guk include 미역국, which we mentioned in an earlier lesson, and 콩나물국, which is made from 콩나물, a type of bean sprout. Now, in Korean language, we have another word for a soup-based dish, and it's 탕, 탕. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 탕, 탕. Now, the main difference between 국 and 탕 is that 탕 is generally considered a main meal in itself. So in many restaurants, you can order 탕 as a meal and you get a bowl of rice with the 탕. However, 국 is more of a side dish, so generally it's not as common for people to order 국 as a main meal in restaurants. Though there are always exceptions, such as 순댓국, which is considered a main meal on its own. Some common types of 탕 are 갈비탕, a beef rib soup, and 설렁탕, stew meat-based soup. Now, the next important word in Korean meals is like a soup, though it's a little different, and it's 찌개, 찌개. Let's practice saying this word, 찌개. Repeat after me. 찌개, 찌개. 찌개 is another soup-based dish, but it has a thicker broth and it usually has more other ingredients, such as meat, tofu, and vegetables. It's also usually shared with others rather than having one for each person. Now, there are many types of 찌개, and the most common types are 김치찌개, made with kimchi, and 된장찌개, which is made with 된장, soybean paste. The last important word is noodle, and in Korean, this is 국수, 국수. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 국수, 국수. Generally, 국수 is considered a meal on its own, so you don't normally eat 국수 and 밥 together. However, as with any meal in Korea, you would get some side dishes with 국수 as well. Common 국수 found in Korea are 칼국수, flour-based noodle in fish or chicken broth, and 냉면, which is a type of cold noodle dish. Okay, so the final word for this lesson is the word for dessert, and this is 후식, 후식. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 후식, 후식. Now, these syllables come from Chinese. 후 means after and 식 means a meal. So 후식 means after meal. And although this word exists in the Korean language, having 후식 or dessert is not that common in Korea, though it's becoming more common in restaurants nowadays. Also, Koreans often just call desserts phonetically in Korean. So they call it 디저트, 디저트. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 디저트, 디저트. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson on vocabulary related to Korean food. First, we learned that uncooked rice is called 쌀 and cooked rice is called 밥. Side dishes are called 반찬, which are shared with other diners. And two types of soup-based dish are called 국 and 탕. And in general, 국 is more of a side dish and 탕 is more of a main meal. 찌개 is another soup-based dish, but with thicker broth and with more ingredients. 국수 means noodles, and dessert in Korean is 후식, though it's also sometimes called 디저트. Okay, hope you now have a better idea on what a Korean meal looks like. Let's now move on, and in the next lesson, learn words related to our homes. Bye for now. Hello again. So in this lesson, we're going to look at vocabulary related to rooms in a house in Korean. Let's get straight into it. First, a room in Korean is 방, 방. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 방, 방. Now, 방 is a general word that refers to rooms. So when we want to say things like, this room is hot, or my room is small, we use the word 방. However, another important word that refers to rooms is 실, 실. This word refers to a room and it's used with other words to refer to specific rooms. For example, in offices, the meeting room is called 회의실, 회의실. The word 회의 means a meeting. So 회의실 literally means a meeting room. And another word is the classroom at school, and this is called 교실, 교실. And here we see the word 실 again. So in this lesson, many of the rooms we learn will have 실 at the end. And the first room we'll learn is the living room, and it's 거실, 거실. Repeat after me. 거실, 거실. That was great. This word 거 means living. So 거실 literally means the living room. Now, to say someone or something is in a room, we use the verb 있다, 있다. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 있다, 있다. Now, to say be in the living room, we can say 거실에 있다, 거실에 있다. Notice how the 리을 in the second syllable carries over to the third syllable. It's 거실에, 거실에. Let's practice saying the whole phrase. Repeat after me. 거실에 있다, 거실에 있다. That was great. And in this sentence, we see the particle 에 again, which can mean in, on, or at. Now the next word is the kitchen, and it's 부엌, 부엌. But in Korean, there is also another word that means the kitchen, and it's 주방, 주방. Let's practice both words. Repeat after me. 부엌, 부엌. 주방, 주방. Now there are slight nuance differences between the two words. The main difference being that 부엌 is a pure Korean word, while 주방 is based on Chinese characters. However, when referring to the kitchen in a home, you can use either. It really doesn't matter. Also, 주방 can be used with other nouns as an adjective. So, 주방 기구 refers to kitchen equipment, but you wouldn't call it 부엌 기구. That's unnatural. Also, kitchens in restaurants are more commonly referred to as 주방 rather than 부엌. Okay, moving on. The next room is the master bedroom, and this in Korean is 안방. 안방. When pronouncing this word, there are two important points to remember. Firstly, the nium 받침 in the first syllable changes to mium, so it's read as 안방. 안방. Secondly, the second syllable 방 is pronounced as bang. So rather than saying this as 안방, it's 안방. 안방. Let's practice saying this word. Repeat after me. 안방. 안방. Let's now say be in the master bedroom. 안방에 있다. 안방에 있다. Repeat after me. 안방에 있다. 안방에 있다. That was great. The next word is the bedroom, and this in Korean is 침실. 침실. Repeat after me. 침실. 침실. The syllable 침 means sleeping, so this phrase kind of means sleeping room. Let's practice saying be in the bedroom. 침실에 있다. 침실에 있다. Repeat after me. 침실에 있다. 침실에 있다. That was great. Now the next word is the bathroom, and this is 욕실. 욕실. Now the verb to bathe is 목욕하다. 목욕하다. So we take this syllable 욕, which means bathe, and combine it with 실 to say bathroom. 욕실. 욕실. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 욕실. 욕실. Great job, well done. The next word is for the toilet, and it's 화장실. 화장실. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 화장실. 화장실. That was great. 화장실 is used to refer to any toilet facility, not just at home. The final word in this lesson is the study, and it's 서재. 서재. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 서재. 서재. Now, 서재 is not very common in Korea, and most homes don't have a separate 서재. But if you have a spare room, you can convert that room to a study, 서재. Okay, so that's it for this lesson today. And in today's lesson, we learned that a room in Korean is 방. And the word 실, which also means room, can combine with other words to refer to specific rooms. The first room was 거실, the living room. The kitchen in Korean has two words, 부엌 and 주방. The master bedroom is 안방, and bedrooms in general are called 침실. The bathroom in Korean is 욕실, and the toilet is called 화장실. And finally, the study is called 서재. To say that someone or something is somewhere, we can use the verb 있다. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll look at vocabulary related to furniture in the house. See you soon in that lesson. Bye-bye. Hi there. So in this lesson, we're going to learn words related to general appliances found around the house. So let's begin. The first word is a television, and this is a loan word from English, so we say it phonetically in Korean, like this. television, television. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. television, television. Also, just like how we call a television a TV, Koreans also call television TV, but phonetically in Korean. So it's TB, TB. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. TB, TB. That was great. Well done. Now, in the previous lesson, we learned that the verb to turn on in Korean is 켜다. So in this lesson, we'll learn the verb to turn off. And this is 끄다. 끄다. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 끄다. 끄다. That's great. Let's now say turn off the TV. TV를 끄다. TV를 끄다. Repeat after me. TV를 끄다. TV를 끄다. That was excellent. Well done. Now the next word is a computer. And this is again another loan word. And it's computer. Computer. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. Computer. Computer. That was great. Now, the word for laptop in Korean is also a loan word, but it's not laptop. It's 노트북. 노트북. I think in English we tend to think of notebook laptops as smaller laptops, but in Korean, all laptops are called 노트북. 노트북. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 노트북. 노트북. That was great. Let's now say turn off the computer, 컴퓨터를 끄다, and turn off the laptop, 노트북을 끄다. Repeat after me. 컴퓨터를 끄다. 노트북을 끄다. Great job, well done. Now the next word is a vacuum cleaner, and this is 진공청소기. 진공청소기. The word 진공 means vacuum, and 청소 is a noun that means clean. Just like how we added 기 to the dishwasher and a washing machine, we can add 기 to 청소 to say cleaner, 청소기. This 기 actually means machine, so it's used with many kinds of machines. Let's practice saying a vacuum cleaner, 진공청소기. Repeat after me. 진공청소기. 진공청소기. Another useful verb we can use with machines is to work, to operate. In Korean, when we say use the vacuum cleaner, we use a verb that means to work, to operate. And this verb is 돌리다. 돌리다. Let's practice saying this verb. Repeat after me. 돌리다. 돌리다. Let's now say operate, use the vacuum cleaner. 진공청소기를 돌리다. 진공청소기를 돌리다. Repeat after me. 진공청소기를 돌리다. 진공청소기를 돌리다. Excellent job, well done. The final three words are important for different seasons in Korea, and the first one is for the freezing winters in Korea, and it's the boiler. This again is a loan word, so it's boiler, boiler. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. boiler, boiler. That's great. Let's now say turn off the boiler. 보일러를 끄다. 보일러를 끄다. Repeat after me. 보일러를 끄다. 보일러를 끄다. Excellent work, well done. Now, summers in Korea can be extremely hot and humid, and I doubt anyone in Korea can get through the summer without the following two appliances. And first, it's the air conditioner, and it's called aircon. Aircon. This is a kind of a modified loan word. Let's practice saying aircon. Repeat after me. Aircon. Aircon. That's great. Now the last word is for the electric fan, and this is 선풍기. 선풍기. The second syllable 풍 means wind and air. Let's practice saying 선풍기. Repeat after me. 선풍기. 선풍기. Great job, well done. Finally, let's say turn off the fan. 선풍기를 끄다. 선풍기를 끄다. Repeat after me. 선풍기를 끄다. 선풍기를 끄다. Great job today, well done. In today's lesson, we learned words related to appliances found around the house. First, we learned that a television is television, but it's also called TV. A computer is computer, and a laptop is notebook. A vacuum cleaner is 진공청소기. And to talk about operating using a vacuum cleaner, we can use the verb 돌리다. A boiler in Korean is boiler, and an air conditioner is aircon. An electric fan in Korean is 선풍기. Finally, the verb to turn off is 끄다. 끄다. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to learn words related to the bathroom and particularly washing our faces. So I'll see you soon again in that lesson. Bye-bye. Hi there. So in this lesson, we're going to learn words related to people, but we'll focus on adults. So let's get started. Now in Korean, there are two words for adults, and they are 성인, 성인, and 어른, 어른. Now, 성인 is based on Chinese characters, but 어른 is based on Korean language. In 성인, 성 means completed, finished, and in means a person. So 성인 means a completed person, a grown-up person. Both of these terms are used frequently in Korean, and in many situations, these terms can be used interchangeably. But there are also situations where one can be used, but not the other. In general, you will see 성인 used more in formal documents and also in shop signs where there are different prices for children and adults. But in spoken Korean, 어른 is used more often. However, it's important to note that this is not an absolute rule, so don't be surprised if you see or hear these words used differently to what I've just explained. Both of these terms are general terms to refer to adults and are not used to address people directly. So you wouldn't try to get someone's attention by calling them 성인 or 어른. Let's practice saying 성인 and 어른. Repeat after me. 성인, 성인, 어른, 어른. That's excellent. Now the next word is what we use to refer to elderly people, and it's 어르신. 어르신. We can say 어르신 to address elderly people. So if you want to catch an elderly person's attention, you can call them 어르신. But we can also use this term to refer to elderly people. Let's practice saying 어르신. Repeat after me. 어르신. 어르신. That was great. Well done. The next word is used to address married men, and it's 아저씨, 아저씨. We use this word to address people directly, but also when we're referring to people. It's important to note that this is generally used by children when they address male adults, but you can also use this word to address people who are much older than you. For example, if you're 30 years old and you're addressing someone who seems to be in their 50s, then you can call them 아저씨, as they are too young to be addressed as 어르신, but there is big enough age gap between you and the man to address that person as 아저씨. Now, clearly there are times when it's really hard to tell whether someone is married, but this idea of 아저씨 being used to address married men is a general usage guideline, and children will call male adults 아저씨 regardless of whether they're married or not. Let's practice this word 아저씨. Repeat after me. 아저씨, 아저씨. That was great. Well done. The next word is used to address married women, and it's 아줌마, 아줌마. The rules of usage with 아줌마 is similar to 아저씨, but there's a lot of negative connotation with the word 아줌마, as 아줌마 is seen to be a lot more aggressive when compared to unmarried women. A nice way of putting it is that 아줌마 is considered to be forthright. Now, of course, that's not necessarily a bad quality in a person, but Korea is a collective society and nobody wants to be seen as someone who is opinionated and disagrees with a group. So what I'm trying to say is that we should be more careful of addressing people as 아줌마 than when we're addressing men as 아저씨. As if you call someone in their early 30s 아줌마, they can get offended, even if they really are married. Now, my rule of thumb on using 아줌마 is unless I'm certain that the lady I'm talking to is at least in their 40s, I wouldn't call them 아줌마. There are other ways to address people or catch their attention, such as 저기요, which kind of means excuse me. So that should be a pretty safe rule to follow on using 아줌마. Let's practice saying 아줌마. Repeat after me. 아줌마. 아줌마. Okay, that's great. Now the next two words are what we would use to address people who are unmarried. The first word is for unmarried women and it's 아가씨. 아가씨. Now 아가씨 actually just means a young lady. So it doesn't really refer to an unmarried woman. And there is another word that refers to unmarried women and this is 처녀. 처녀. But 처녀 is not used to address people, but is a more general term to talk about unmarried women. 아가씨, on the other hand, is used to address young women. So if you're in a restaurant and you want to call over a female waiting staff who seems quite young, then you can call that person 아가씨. However, this word is only used by people who are older than the person they're addressing. So a 40-year-old man or woman can call a young lady who seems to be in her 20s 아가씨. But if you're in your 20s and you want to call a young lady who's working as a waitress and seems to be in 20s also, you shouldn't be calling her 아가씨. That's not appropriate. Again, a more appropriate way of catching that person's attention is to say 저기요. Okay, let's practice saying 아가씨. Repeat after me. 아가씨. 아가씨. That's excellent, well done. Now the next word is the opposite of 처녀, and this word literally means an unmarried man, and it's 총각. 총각. The rules of usage for this is similar to 아가씨. It's generally used by people who are older than the young man they're talking to. Let's practice saying 총각. Repeat after me. 총각. 총각. Excellent job today, well done. Today, we only covered a few words, but there was a lot of usage rules we had to explain. First, we learned that there are two words for adults, 성인 and 어른. For elderly people, we can refer to and address them by 어르신. Married men are 아저씨 and married women are 아줌마. Though we need to be careful of addressing women by 아줌마, as this term has some negative connotations. Young ladies can be addressed as 아가씨, and unmarried men can be addressed as 총각, though only those who are older than the person they're addressing can use these terms. When referring to unmarried women, we can use the term 처녀. Okay, so that was another long lesson. In the next lesson, we'll look at vocabulary related to children. So I'll see you soon again in that lesson. Bye-bye. Hello there. So in this lesson, we're going to learn words related to the classroom. So let's begin. The first word is the classroom, and we briefly mentioned this word in another lesson before, and it's 교실. 교실. In this word, 교 means teaching and 실 means a room. So 교실 means a room where teaching takes place. Now in the previous lesson, we mentioned that in 학교, 교 refers to the school. And although both 학교 and 교실 both have 교, they're based on different Chinese characters. One means school and the other means teaching. Let's first practice saying the classroom, 교실. Repeat after me. 교실. 교실. That was great, well done. Now let's look at some words related to the classroom. The first word is the lesson, and in Korean, this is 수업. 수업. Let's practice saying a lesson, 수업. Repeat after me. 수업. 수업. That was great. Now, to say take a lesson, Koreans use the verb 듣다. 듣다. 듣다 means to listen, and we use this verb as a way of saying that we listen to someone's teaching in 수업. Let's first practice to listen, 듣다. Repeat after me. 듣다. 듣다. Let's now say take a lesson. 수업을 듣다. 수업을 듣다. Repeat after me. 수업을 듣다. 수업을 듣다. Excellent work, well done. Now the two people always found in any lesson are the teachers and students. And in Korean, a teacher is 선생님. 선생님. The actual word for a teacher is 선생, but we almost always use it with this word 님, as 님 is a way of showing respect to someone. In Korea, a teacher is a highly respected person in the classroom, so it's important for a student to be respectful to the teacher. Let's practice saying a teacher, 선생님. Repeat after me. 선생님. 선생님. That was great. Now the next word is the student, and this is 학생. 학생. Let's first practice saying this. Repeat after me. 학생. 학생. That was great. And to refer to students from different schools, such as primary school, we say the first part of the school name and then say 학생. So a primary school student is 초등학생, and a middle school student is 중학생. And as you can imagine, a high school student is 고등학생. So a university student is, yes, 대학생. Let's practice a couple of these phrases. Repeat after me. 초등학생. 중학생. Excellent job, well done. Now a key activity that takes place in any lesson is studying. And the noun that means studying in Korean is 공부. 공부. Say that with me. 공부. 공부. And to make this into a verb form to study, we attach 하다 and say 공부하다. 공부하다. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 공부하다. 공부하다. That was great. The next word is something that I rarely did at school, and hopefully I'm not the only one here, and this is homework. Now, homework in Korean is 숙제. 숙제. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 숙제. 숙제. We can also make this into a verb form, to do homework, by adding 하다 at the end. So, to do homework is 숙제하다. 숙제하다. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 숙제하다. 숙제하다. Excellent job, well done. The final word for this lesson is every student's nightmare, and it's the exam. Exam in Korean is 시험. 시험. The 히읗 in the second syllable is silent in fast speech. So it's 시험. 시험. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 시험. 시험. That was great. Now, to talk about taking an exam, we can use quite a few verbs. The common verbs we use to talk about taking exams is 치다, 보다, and 하다. Now, these verbs all have different meanings when used in different contexts, but whichever verb you used in this context, they all mean to take an exam. So let's practice using all three verbs to say to take an exam. So it's 시험을 치다, 시험을 보다, and 시험을 하다. Repeat after me. 시험을 치다. 시험을 보다. 시험을 하다. Fantastic job today. Well done. Today we learn vocabulary related to the classroom. First, we learn that the classroom in Korean is 교실 and lessons are called 수업. To talk about taking lessons, we use the verb 듣다, which means to listen. The teacher is called 선생님 and students are 학생. To refer to students from different schools, we add the first part of the school name to 학생. So we can say 초등학생, 중학생, 고등학생, and 대학생. The noun for study is 공부 and its verb form is 공부하다. The noun for homework is 숙제 and the verb to do homework is 숙제하다. Finally, exams in Korean is 시험, and to talk about taking exams, we can use the verbs 치다, 보다, and 하다. Okay, so that was another long lesson, but that's it for today. In the next lesson, we'll look at words related to school subjects. So I'll see you soon again in that lesson. Bye-bye. Hello again. So today we're going to learn common shop names in Korean. So let's begin. Now, continuing on from the last lesson's theme, the first shop name is the pharmacy, the drugstore. And this in Korean is 약국, 약국. The first syllable 약 means medicine in Korean, and 국 refers to an office. So 약국 means a pharmacy. Let's practice saying a pharmacy, 약국. Repeat after me. 약국, 약국. Great job, well done. The next shop name is the bookstore, and this in Korean is 서점, 서점. Earlier, when we learned the word for a textbook, we learned that the syllable 서 refers to books, and the second syllable in this word 점 refers to shops. So 서점 means a bookstore. Let's practice saying a bookstore, 서점. Repeat after me. 서점, 서점. Great job, well done. Now the next word is for a shop staff, and this is 점원, 점원. As mentioned before, the syllable 점 refers to shops, and the second syllable 원 refers to a staff member. So 점원 is a shop staff. In terms of pronunciation, the 미음 받침 in the first syllable carries over to the second syllable 원. So it's not 점원, it's 점원, 점원. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 점원, 점원. Great job, well done. Now the next word is the post office, and this in Korean is 우체국, 우체국. Now in this word, we see the syllable 국 again, which means an office. Let's practice saying post office, 우체국. Repeat after me. 우체국, 우체국. That was excellent. Let's now learn to say go in a shop. In Korean, to talk about going in a shop, we use the verb that means to enter. And this is 들어가다, 들어가다. Let's first practice this verb to enter, 들어가다. Repeat after me. 들어가다, 들어가다. That was great. Let's now say go in the post office. 우체국에 들어가다, 우체국에 들어가다. Repeat after me. 우체국에 들어가다, 우체국에 들어가다. Excellent job, well done. Now the next shop name is the bank, and this is 은행, 은행. Now in terms of pronunciation, in fast speech, the 니은 받침 in the first syllable carries over to the second syllable. So this is pronounced as 은행, 은행. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 은행, 은행. Let's now say go in the bank. 은행에 들어가다, 은행에 들어가다. Repeat after me. 은행에 들어가다. 은행에 들어가다. Excellent job, well done. Now the next word is not necessarily a shop, but many of us look for it when we're out somewhere, and this is the cash machine, an ATM. In Korean, this is called 현금 인출기. 현금 인출기. The word 현금 means cash, and 인출 means withdraw. And we add the syllable 기, which means a machine, at the end to make this a cash machine. Now, in terms of pronunciation, the 니은 받침 in the first syllable 현 sounds like 이응. So when you say 현금, it sounds like 현금, 현금. So let's practice saying cash machine, 현금 인출기. Repeat after me. 현금 인출기. 현금 인출기. Excellent job, well done. Now the next word is for the hairdressers, and this in Korean is 미용실. 미용실. In Korea, hairdressers is where both men and women go to get their hair done. Although there are some barbers in Korea, which in Korean is called 이발소, 이발소, not many people go there, and they are slowly becoming extinct in Korea. Let's practice saying hairdressers, 미용실. Repeat after me. 미용실. 미용실. Great job, well done. The final shop name in this lesson is the flower shop, and this is 꽃집. 꽃집. 꽃 is the noun for a flower, and 집, as we learned before, means a house. And together, 꽃집 means a flower shop. It's quite common for Korean shop names to use this word 집, and as we will learn in the next lesson, we often use this word 집 when referring to restaurants. Let's practice saying a flower shop, 꽃집. Repeat after me. 꽃집. 꽃집. Excellent job today, well done. In today's lesson, we learn common shop names in Korean. First, we learned that a pharmacy in Korean is 약국, and a bookstore is 서점. A shop staff is 점원, and a post office is 우체국. A bank in Korean is 은행, and a cash machine is 현금 인출기. Hairdressers in Korean is 미용실, and both men and women go to 미용실 in Korea. And a barber in Korean is 이발소. The final shop name we learned was the flower shop, which in Korean is 꽃집. To talk about going in the shops, we can use the verb 들어가다, which means to enter. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, and in the next lesson, we learn words related to cafes and restaurants and big shops such as supermarkets. So I'll see you soon again in that lesson. Bye-bye. Hello again. So in today's lesson, we're going to learn words related to zoo animals. So let's begin. The first animal is the monkey, and this is 원숭이. 원숭이. The final syllable E refers to objects and animals, and you will see this syllable used in other animal names in this lesson and in other lessons too. Let's try to say 원숭이. Repeat after me. 원숭이. 원숭이. That was great. Now, there are, of course, many different kinds of monkeys, and their names are generally said phonetically in Korean. So, a chimpanzee is chimpanzee, an orangutan is orangutan, and a gorilla is gorilla. Let's practice saying these monkey names in Korean. Repeat after me. chimpanzee, orangutan, gorilla. Great job, well done. Now, to count animals, we have to use a special counter word, and this is 마리. 마리. We use this word 마리 to count animals, insects, and fish. Let's first practice saying this word 마리. Repeat after me. 마리. 마리. Let's now say one monkey. 원숭이 한 마리. 원숭이 한 마리. In this phrase, 한 is the contracted form of the native Korean number for one, which is 하나. Also, when you say 한 마리, because of connected speech, the 니은 받침 in 한 sounds like a 미음 받침. So it's 원숭이 한 마리. 원숭이 한 마리. Let's practice saying this phrase. Repeat after me. 원숭이 한 마리. 원숭이 한 마리. Excellent job, well done. The next animal word is a giraffe, and a giraffe is 기린. 기린. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 기린. 기린. That's great. Let's now say two giraffes. 기린 두 마리. 기린 두 마리. Repeat after me. 기린 두 마리. 기린 두 마리. Great, well done. The next animal word is an elephant, and this is 코끼리. 코끼리. The first syllable 코 means the nose, and 끼리 was originally written as 길이 long time ago. And 길 means long, and 이, as we learned earlier in the lesson, refers to an animal. But over time, this 길이 became 끼리. So this name, 코끼리, means an animal with a long nose. Pretty accurate name for an elephant. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 코끼리. 코끼리. Let's now say two elephants. 코끼리 두 마리. 코끼리 두 마리. Repeat after me. 코끼리 두 마리. 코끼리 두 마리. Great job. Let's now learn the word for a zebra. A zebra in Korean is 얼룩말. 얼룩말. The word 얼룩 means spotted or stained, and 말 means a horse. So together, 얼룩말 means a spotted horse, a zebra. Let's practice saying that. Repeat after me. 얼룩말. 얼룩말. That was great. Let's now say three zebras. 얼룩말 세 마리. 얼룩말 세 마리. Repeat after me. 얼룩말 세 마리. 얼룩말 세 마리. Great job, well done. The next animal word is the bear, and this is 곰. 곰. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 곰. 곰. That was great. Now, names for other types of bears also use this word 곰. For example, the polar bear in Korean is 북극곰, and 북극 means North Pole. And the grizzly bear in Korean is 회색곰, and 회색, if you recall, means color gray in Korean. Let's practice saying these bear names. Repeat after me. 북극곰. 회색곰. Excellent job, well done. Two more animals to go, and the next animal is the hippo, and this is 하마. 하마. Let's say that together. Repeat after me. 하마. 하마. Now let's say one hippo. 하마 한 마리. 하마 한 마리. Repeat after me. 하마 한 마리. 하마 한 마리. Great job, well done. The final animal is the crocodile, and this is 악어. 악어. Because of connected speech, this is pronounced as 악어. 악어, as the 기역 sound carries over to the second syllable. Let's say 악어 together. Repeat after me. 악어. 악어. That was great. Let's now say 2 crocodiles. 악어 2마리. 악어 2마리. Repeat after me. 악어 2마리. 악어 2마리. Fantastic job today. Well done. So in this lesson, we learned that a monkey is 원숭이, and a lot of monkey names are said phonetically in Korean, such as chimpanzee, orangutan, and gorilla. A giraffe is 기린, and an elephant is 코끼리. A zebra is 얼룩말, and a bear is 곰. And this word 곰 is used in other bear names, such as 북극곰 and 회색곰. A hippo is 하마, and a crocodile is 악어. Lastly, to count animals, we use the counter word 마리. 마리. Okay, so we've covered some important zoo animal names in this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll learn words related to big cats, such as lions and tigers. So I'll see you soon again in that lesson. Bye-bye.